Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Monday Breakthrough. Last week, I had a huge honor of talking to Harbor from Dead Type Foundry, and our conversation was so impactful to me, and there were so many things that actually I've learned from him. And one of those things was not a direct lesson or not a direct thing he does, but actually one of the things that he doesn't do. And that's actually that he doesn't use his smartphone. I mean, it's not really uncommon nowadays. There are actually those kind of like phones where you just have those options to call and text someone when you need it. And I do understand not using a smartphone from a certain point. It definitely has its own like positive things. And that's actually something I was thinking about this week. I am kind of a technophile, and I'm kind of a person that gets excited every time I see a new shiny phone released, and I have my own favorite. And it's just like kind of maybe even that's an addiction, but I'm not talking about that part today. I actually want to talk about today of how we are using our smartphones, of how we are using our time, and how actually we don't really have control over what we do on our smartphones. So when I was getting ready for this episode yesterday, I was going through my digital well-being controls, and I actually noticed a certain pattern that during the week, approximately I spend, around 4 hours on my phone in total, which is kind of, I would say, quite a lot of time, considering that I'm really not working more than 30 minutes stop on my smartphone. I usually use it for Instagram to publish new posts, or sometimes just to reply comments and just to keep conversation going with the people who follow me and who are engaging with my content. So using it for 4 hours every day, not Instagram, but my phone, is kind of, I would say, too much looking from this perspective. And I was shocked yesterday when I saw it, like 4 hours. Oh my God, like every 2 days, that's one working day of time. And that's huge. So today I actually want to go through the last week, each day, how much time I've spent on Instagram, how much time I've spent in Google Chrome or Threads or whatever. Sunday is usually, for me, Sunday is not a work day normally. I do work, but I don't engage in social media. I don't post on social media, but still I managed to spend 2 hours and 13 minutes on Instagram. I have no idea how that happened or what I actually did, because I don't think I've had any comments to reply on. I don't think I've had anything really meaningful that I had spent my time on. On Saturday, I actually did spend some time on Instagram for my business, maybe 15 minutes tops, but the total time on Instagram was 1 hour and 15 minutes. I spent 1 hour additionally in Google Chrome and 30 minutes in Google search. What was I searching for? It's weird. On Friday, I've spent 2.5 hours. That's kind of worrying, 2.5 hours. And I can 100% be sure that I have not used Instagram for my business more than 30 minutes. So almost 2 hours of mindless scrolling, and that's really worrying for me, because I try to be aware of what I'm doing, where I'm doing it. I try to be aware of the things I do, and spending 2 hours on Instagram is not something I'm looking at nicely. Thursday is the same. I spent 2 hours on Instagram. Wednesday, 57 minutes, 52 minutes in Chrome, and Tuesday, quite the same. So approximately each day of the last week, I've spent between 2 and 2.5 hours on Instagram. And let's say that half an hour was for business purposes. So between 1.5 and 2 hours, I have spent my time without actually knowing what was I watching, what was I doing. I mean, I do know because there is a certain type of posts that I engage with. And as we all know, you can never have too many cat videos. They are also good. And even though I'm kind of a more of a dog person, I would say that those cat videos are the gold of social media. But the thing is that there is a time in your life when you actually don't want to spend 2 hours watching cat videos. I've also asked you guys on Instagram yesterday, how much time do you spend mindless scrolling? And the answers were, well, anything between 1 and 3 hours even. And seriously, most of the people who replied are people who have their own successful businesses, have their own branding studios, their type foundries. And I was figuring, how do we even get to work? If I spend weekly, that's 2 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's 14 hours. That's almost 2 working days of Instagram for nothing. And while I do know that these infinite scrolling websites are actually almost as addicted as real drugs, and they are really addiction nowadays, with many researchers doing their thing and many people actually proving the same thing. Even if you're in Europe, you will know that European Commission is doing their work to actually stop websites from using the infinite scroll. When you open Instagram, for example, or TikTok, or Threads or Twitter or any other social media, YouTube, whatever, the next video starts playing before even you know it. Doing that, it's almost as someone is sprinkling our devices with a bits of cocaine. That is such a good metaphor, because we do not see addiction of social media, of internet, of our phones as a regular addiction. And when we use our phone, we will always say, oh, that cannot be compared to using drugs, using alcohol. But actually, your brain works in absolutely the same way. What I'm going to try this week, I'm taking my phone right now, and I'm actually going to try to limit my time on Instagram to 30 minutes a day, because I need it for work. There are some conversations I have. So going from 2.5 hours to just half an hour, I believe it's amazing. Let's see how it goes over the week. I invite you to actually do the same. If you are spending too much time on social media, I invite you to limit your time on that app. If you are just using your phone too much for multiple tasks, which are not related to your business or to have fun or whatever, just try to limit the use of it. And we can talk about it. You can message me on Instagram. You can also message me on my email. Send an email. We will talk. I will send a newsletter later where you will be able to just hit reply and let me know your thoughts about this. So yeah, that's it for today. I'm hoping you are getting something from this. I will talk to you guys next week. Until then, keep the convo going and have an absolutely amazing week.